My name is Jake, and for 15 years I was a SEAL. 15 years vanished in a flash of deployments, a blur of black ops, the endless grind of being a ghost for my country. Home was a whisper, a maybe someday promise. Imagine trading your Brooklyn brownstone for a steel coffin churning through the blackest ocean, swapping the scent of bagels and coffee for diesel and salt spray. Imagine waking to the piercing shriek of reveille instead of your girl's sleepy sigh, choking down MREs instead of her killer lasagna, always wondering if this mission, would be your last. But I lived for it. The rush, the brotherhood, the razor's edge focus, the uniform, yeah, it was heavy, but it was mine. Pride, duty, that kept me going. But there was her too. Sarah, my North Star in the storm. She was the reason I clawed my way back from every hellhole, every firefight, every near miss. I'd see her face, hear her laugh in my head, and suddenly the rations tasted a little less like cardboard, the alarms a little less deafening. Those stolen days back in our apartment, overlooking Central Park, felt like stepping into a dream. Suddenly, I wasn't just a SEAL, a weapon. I was Jake, her Jake, a guy who loved her laugh and the way she'd wrinkle her nose when she was concentrating. We were unbreakable, Sarah and I. Across oceans, across continents, nothing could touch us. That's what I believed. Until the day the Navy cut me loose early. A 5-day pass, a golden ticket home. Unheard of. A gift. Or so I thought. The cab ride from JFK felt like crawling through molasses. Every red light, every honking taxi, every skyscraper crawling past the window was an eternity. My mind was a highlight reel of us. Laughing on Coney Island, bundled up against the winter wind, her eyes sparkling like the city lights behind her. Slow dancing in our living room to some old jazz record, the city muted outside our walls, her arms tight around me after months apart, the scent of her hair, like vanilla and rain. Lately, though, our calls had been different. A chill in her voice, a distance I couldn't bridge through static and satellite lag. Her laughter, usually so bright, sounded brittle, forced. Just stressed, she'd say, always fine. But fine felt like a lie. Too much time alone in that city apartment, holding down the fort while I was out there in the shadows. Isolation, that's a corrosive thing. She just needed me home. That's all it was. Once I was back, everything would snap back into place. The cab turned onto our street, familiar brownstones lining the sidewalk like old friends. But something was wrong. Sarah's Mini Cooper, usually parked right out front, was gone. Brushed it off, errands, grocery run, but then I saw the windows. Blinds drawn, tight, like the apartment was holding its breath. Sarah loved light. Sunlight was her fuel, her inspiration when she was writing her screenplays. She'd practically bathe in it, laptop perched on the windowsill, the city a vibrant backdrop to her stories. Drawn blinds? Unheard of. Was she even home? I leaned forward, squinting at our building, the brownstone where we'd built our life. Brick by brick, memory by memory. Silence. Too much silence. I paid the cabbie, adrenaline starting to prickle under my skin. Something was off, deeply, instinctively wrong. I used my key, the click echoing in the oppressive quiet. Stepped inside, calling her name, my voice swallowed by the stillness. Sarah? Nothing. Just the hum of the refrigerator, a lonely mechanical sound. Errands, right. Just errands. But my senses were screaming. Years of training, honed in hostile territories, kicked in. Subtle shifts in the air, the almost imperceptible scent of something out of place. By the door, a pair of sneakers. Not mine. Way too big. Size 13s at least. And some flashy brand I'd never seen her buy for me. My gut clenched. Guest? Family, maybe? Doubt gnawed at me. Then I caught it. Faint, but unmistakable. Cologne. Not my Old Spice, not anything I recognize, something sharp, musky, foreign. Every hair on my arm stood on end. Instinct flared. Danger. Prepare. Slowly, deliberately, I moved deeper into the apartment, each footstep echoing in the unnerving silence. Sarah? Louder this time, my voice sharper. Still nothing. Except, from down the hall, behind our bedroom door, a sound. Faint, muffled. A murmur? Then a low laugh. Intimate. Too intimate. I froze outside the door, heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. Imagination. Stress. Jet lag. My mind was playing tricks, been gone too long. But the laugh came again. Lower, softer, laced with something that twisted my insides into knots. My hand clenched into a fist, knuckles white. No thinking, just action. I shoved the door open, hard. The scene hit me like a punch to the chest. A tableau of betrayal burned into my retinas. There she was, Sarah, my Sarah. Tangled in our sheets, naked, flushed, her eyes half closed, a soft smile playing on her lips, and beside her a man, big, muscular, definitely not me. Dark skin, a tattoo snaking up his arm, details that shouldn't matter but screamed in the silence. Another man, in our bed with my wife. Time stopped. My brain short-circuited. Rage, disbelief, white-hot fury clawed at my throat. Yell, scream, tear him apart. But my body was frozen, locked in place, a statue of shock and disbelief. I just stood there, staring as the weight of it crushed me, suffocated me. I'd faced down terrorists, stared into the abyss, but nothing had prepared me for this hollow, gut-wrenching emptiness. They both froze, caught like deer in headlights. Sarah's eyes snapped open, wide with horror, guilt, a dawning realization of what she'd done. The man scrambled, fumbling for the sheets, mumbling something incoherent, lost in the roaring in my ears. My gaze locked on Sarah's. For a split second, a ghost of the woman I loved flickered in her eyes. Then it was gone, replaced by the stark, brutal reality of the stranger she'd become. Speechless, motionless. Years of SEAL training, ice water in my veins took over. Control, composure. "Get dressed," I finally managed, my voice a low, dangerous rumble. "Both of you. Living room. Now." Sarah couldn't meet my eyes, her face ashen, hands shaking as she fumbled with her clothes, a child caught stealing cookies. But this wasn't cookies. This was our life. Our vows. Our everything, shattered into dust. The man surprised me. No bravado, no excuses. He just stood there, naked, vulnerable, and said, "I'm sorry. I'll go." "No," I snapped, sharper this time. "You're staying. I want answers." He nodded. No argument. His face a mask of what? Shame, indifference, resignation. I turned and walked out. The weight of their silence a physical pressure on my back. My mind was a whirlwind, but my body moved on autopilot. Living room, sit, wait. Empty coffee table, mocking me with its ordinariness. They joined me, Sarah huddled on the edge of the couch, eyes glued to the floor. The man across from me, stiff, hands clasped tight, like waiting for a firing squad. I looked at them. The two of them, the wreckage of my life spread out before me. Calm. Stay calm. Years of training. But inside, a hurricane raged. Anger, betrayal, confusion, a toxic cocktail threatening to explode. "How long?" I asked. My voice low, controlled, each word a shard of ice, staring straight at her. How did this start, and why? Silence hung thick in the air, broken only by the ticking of the clock on the mantelpiece, each tick a hammer blow to my sanity. She wouldn't look up, her gaze fixed on her twisting fingers, her breath hitched, shallow, like she was suffocating. Then the dam broke. "Friendship," she whispered, her voice trembling, barely audible. It started as friendship. I didn't mean for it to go this far. He was just someone to talk to." "Someone to talk to?" I repeated, my voice flat, devoid of emotion, a dangerous calm. "Is that all it was?" Tears welled in her eyes, spilling down her cheeks, silent, desperate. "No," she choked out. "No, it wasn't just talking. But at first it was. You were always gone, Jake. Always. And I was lonely. So lonely. Lonely." I stood up, the word exploding from my chest, the calm shattering. "Lonely? I was out there risking my goddamn life for us. For this. And you were lonely?" I forced myself to sit back down, the fury a live wire buzzing through my veins. "I called. Every chance I got. Every damn satellite call. Risking everything just to hear your voice, to make sure you were okay. And you were lonely?" She flinched, but finally, she looked at me, her eyes red-rimmed, pleading. "You don't understand. I didn't want this. But the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, and I felt invisible. Like I didn't exist. Every time you left, the silence in this apartment, it was deafening. He was just there." "So you crossed a line," I said, my voice dead, flat. "You let this stranger into our home, into our bed, because you were lonely?" A slow nod, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Jake. I swear. I didn't plan this. It just happened." I turned to the man, still sitting stiffly in the chair, a statue of guilt and shame. "And you?" I asked, my voice sharp, dangerous. Did you know she was married? Yes, he said, his voice low, steady, but laced with regret. I knew I should have stayed away, but I didn't. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. Sorry. I spat the word out like poison. Sorry? You think sorry fixes this? Makes any of this better? He didn't answer. Didn't need to. My gaze snapped back to Sarah, the woman I had trusted with my life, with my heart, with everything. The weight of her betrayal was a physical thing, crushing me, drowning me. I know I broke your trust, she whispered, her voice cracking. I know I hurt you, but please believe me when I say it wasn't about you. It was about me and how I felt. I was weak. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Her words hung in the air, empty, meaningless. Sorry didn't begin to touch the gaping wound in my chest. Sorry didn't glue back shattered trust. I leaned back, exhaling slowly, trying to find something, anything to hold on to. But there was nothing, just a vast, echoing emptiness. Numbness. That's all I felt. A cold, hollow numbness that spread through my veins, shutting everything down, my brain, my heart, both on lockdown. I stood up slowly, deliberately, looked at them one last time. Sarah, head bowed, tears streaming, a broken, unrecognizable stranger. The man, silent, awkward, waiting for the axe to fall. But I had no axe to swing, no fight left in me. I can't do this anymore, I said quietly, calmly, my voice steady, surprising even myself. 6 words. No yelling, no accusations, no pleas, just finality. I turned and walked to the bedroom, our bedroom, the scene of the crime. Grabbed my duffel bag, started packing. Clothes, toiletries, the bare essentials. No plan, just escape. Standing in front of the nightstand, I saw it. Our wedding photo. Sarah, radiant, laughing, her eyes shining with love. Me, grinning like an idiot, the happiest I'd ever been. A lifetime ago. I left the photo. It didn't belong in this new, fractured reality. Walked past them in the living room. No words. Sarah started to say something. A choked sob, maybe an apology, maybe a plea. Didn't stop, didn't listen. Opened the door, stepped out, closed it behind me. The cab ride back to the city was a blur. Asphalt canyons flashing past, the city lights mocking me with their brilliance. The numbness started to crack, replaced by a raw, searing ache in my chest. My mind raced, replaying everything, every moment, every memory, searching for a crack, a fault line, something I'd missed, something I could have done differently. Was it my fault? Could I have been more, done more? But every time I even considered forgiveness, the image flashed back. Them, together, in our bed, no going back. Days bled into weeks in a cheap motel near the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Cramped room, peeling wallpaper, the constant drone of traffic outside. But it was quiet. That's all I needed. Silence. Staring at the walls, trying to make sense of the senseless. Divorce papers. A cold, sterile word that ripped the heart out of everything we'd built. Sarah, my anchor, the one constant in the chaos of my life, now just a ghost, a memory, a betrayal. Every laugh, every touch, every promise, tainted, poisoned. Sharing a life? Impossible. Sharing a breath? Unthinkable. Time heals all wounds, they say. Lies. Some wounds are too deep, too jagged. Trust is glass, shattered. Glue it back together, the cracks are always there. A constant, agonizing reminder of what was lost, what was broken. Couldn't live like that. Not with her, not in that city, not in that life. Lawyer, papers, signatures, letting go. Letting go of her, letting go of us, letting go of the dream. Pain, a constant dull throb, but underneath a grim, resolute acceptance. Strange, isn't it? Faced storms that ripped the sky apart, stared death in the face countless times, survived battles that should have buried me. And here I was, defeated, not by an enemy, not by fire, but by the woman I swore would always be my ally. Protected nations, protected comrades, but couldn't protect my own heart, my own marriage. Missed the cracks, the fissures forming beneath the surface, until the whole damn thing crumbled. Out at sea, rules are clear. Orders, crew, chain of command. Trust is a lifeline. Clarity, purpose, unshakable. Marriage, no manual for betrayal, no protocol for picking up the pieces when the one person you love shatters you. The ache is still there, always will be, maybe, but a new resolve has hardened in its place. Guard up, heart locked down, never again. Out on the ocean, complacency is death. Learned that lesson the hard way. Learned it again here, like in the heart of the city, in the ruins of my life. The sea calls, always does. Unforgiving waves, relentless storms, but at least they're honest. No pretenses, just the raw, brutal truth of the ocean. Out there, I know where I stand, and for now, that's enough.